Preston Pogue, February 11th. This is my 6th period health class. Everybody wave to the camera. Turn around and wave. Alright. Today, we're going to review a little bit, and then we're going to do something fun. First off, let's talk about the different aspects of health. Alright, so this is what your second week in this class. So, review. What are the three? Physical. Oh, let's do one. Physical. What is physical health?
Like,
Hold on, man. Not everybody wants to say it.
the physique, like how you are and fit, you know, all the stuff that has to like, do you work out, all of that.
Physical health. So, how do you feel? How do you get there? Do you lift weights? Do you run?
Mhm.
Right? Do you feel good about yourself?
Yeah.
Right? Do you eat right? Alright, so physical health. What's the other one? Mental health. Tell me about that one. Anybody?
It's how
How you process or take things in. What else? Somebody had something else. So mental health.
how you feel.
How you feel. Right? Mental. How you feel about yourself. Let me ask you. Here's a question. Does your physical health come in play with your mental health?
Yes.
Right? Because just think, people get overwhelmed or stressed. We've already learned about the different personalities. They do different things physically to get them right mentally. Okay. So physical, mental. What's the other one? What's the third one? Starts with an S. Starts with an S.
It's social.
Social. So social health. What is social health? When you think about social, what does that mean?
How you interact.
How you what?
Interact.
How you interact, or how do you get along with other people? And it's easier, right? We learn about the different personalities. So how does a D interact? Is he okay? He or she good interacting?
They're very, demanding.
More demanding, right? But they can get along. How about an I? Oh gosh, they're happy-go-lucky. They love people, getting along with people. S's.
They like small groups. But
Small groups. They love people. They're good at social health. How about a C?
They're usually alone.
Yes, the C's would rather work by themselves, so they can't communicate, they're not really comfortable with it. Alright? So all that stuff we learned really ties into some of this. Okay? But today I want to do something. We're going to start with mental health. Because you think about our society. Right? You think about your families. Right? About every family is touched with some type of mental health. Mine is, and I'll tell you more about it when we start talking about it. All right? But if I put this on the board, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Mental illness. Say that again? Say dementia? Oh, hey, dementia is what I was going to talk about.
Depression.
But I'll talk more, it's in my family, but I'll talk more about it once we do something here in a minute. So dementia, something really quick about dementia. What do you think it is? So memory loss, right? Total memory loss. All right, I'll tell you more about my family member mine in a minute about that. Give me another one.
Depression.
Depression. What do you think about depression?
Depression is being sad for a long time, and you might be through your family or like just sometimes it's possible.
Right, so you can be depressed and you can be clinically depressed, right? You can't really get out of it. Doom and gloom. You have no interest. You stay in your room. It's dark all the time. You need help. Okay? Give me another one.
Yes.
What'd you say? Bipolar. What is bipolar? Well, your mood, you have extreme emotions. So you could be laughing at 1 minute and then crying the next. I'm going to give you all a great example of that when we do this exercise in a minute. All right? It's a roller coaster ride of emotions. Give me another one. Anxiety disorder. What is that?
I feel anxious, nervous, overthinking a lot.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. What's the difference between like anxiety disorder or just being anxious?
One's a constant thing.
Do what?
One's a constant thing.
Which one's constant?
Anxiety.
Disorder. So there's one, she's exactly right. There's one that you're nervous all the time. It could be you're worried about what you're doing in this class. You're worried about what you're going to walk down the hall, see so-and-so. You're worried about that. You're worried about what you're doing this weekend. You're nervous, anxious all the time. You're paranoid, somebody following you. Okay? Give me another one.
Bulimia?
Huh?
Bulimia?
Bulimia. Couldn't understand what you meant. Bulimia, what's bulimia?
Bulimia is when you purge, when you gorge and you purge.
Yeah, so an eating disorder, you know, when I started doing all that health stuff, I didn't really realize like bulimia and anorexia are mental disorders, right? Or mental illness. So bulimia is when you binge eat. Why is that a mental disorder?
Because it has to do with your brain, not your stomach.
Yeah, because they think a certain way, right? So bulimia will eat a lot and then get rid of it. Right? Anorexia will do what? Okay, you know what anorexia is? No? Anorexia, who knows what anorexia is?
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah, so you don't eat. So if I stand in front of that mirror and I'm 90 pounds, I'll see what? I'll see 300 pounds. You understand that? So I'll see, I don't eat. Anorexia, you don't eat. You might eat a bite or two, you're not gonna eat it. Then you're gonna go exercise and do stuff to burn it off. Okay? That's the two eating disorders we're gonna learn. What else? How about, what would be this one? Here's a good example. You're walking down the street, right? You're walking down the street. This has happened to me before. You're walking down the street and you see a guy. And they're talking to somebody. They don't come at me. Talking to nobody. And then I got bugs all over me. Schizophrenia. That's pretty good actor. Schizophrenia, right? Because they hallucinate. They see things or hear voices. Right? All right, give me another one. How about some that a lot of us have, like OCD? What does OCD mean? It's got to be perfect no matter what it's in your closet or in your pantry.
But it's also like when you have to wash your hands like a bunch of times, you
Clean-
have to do something.
Clean freak, Madeline's right. Clean freaks.
Or you gotta like do
Huh?
something.
They
ADHD.
say that. I got ADHD bad.
You do? Give me an example.
Like whenever Coach Brooks or you were talking, sometimes I'll get come back. Like I can't just stay focused.
Can't stay focused. You think that's why you have a hard time remembering your place?
I know. I know. I buzz when it comes to that.
Yeah. So being focused, you see a lot of students, even elementary age, has to get on medication where they have to focus, right? And it helps them. If not, they get focused on one thing and they don't pay attention to anything else. Give me another one. Hypochondriac or hypochondria. Y'all know what that means? Besides Madeline, somebody else tell me. Y'all know people like this. It's called a hypochondriac. All right? Have you heard of that word? What does it mean? So it means this. If a person, oh, my head's hurting. Oh, I bet I have a tumor. My stomach's hurting. I'm dying of cancer. Right? I tweaked my knee today. I bet I tore my ACL.
They always think something's wrong.
They always think the worst, right? They think something always is probably something minor. They think it's a major deal. That's a hypochondriac. Okay. What else? Let me see what else I'm going to give you. Cover that one. What is post-traumatic stress disorder?
PTSD.
What does that mean?
You got like flashbacks, bad flashbacks.
You get flashbacks, so you hear a lot of that stuff from
Military.
military, but it don't have to be military. What else could it be? Online. It could have been, somebody told me in my other classes that their dad was in a bad tornado. So anytime if weather is really bad and thunder and lightning, it sort of freaks out. Okay? So something that caused you a lot of stress. Bipolar we did, OCD, schizophrenia. Alright. That's the one that y'all covered about all of them. So this is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna have fun with this. I've done it in my other 3 classes. Have fun, but I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to do something. Alright? So just pair it off with people by yourself, sitting by you. I'm gonna give you a card of a mental illness. Alright? Use your Chromebook. You have 10 minutes to find me all the information you can find on that mental illness. Okay? From what is it? So when you get up here to speak, you're gonna tell me what it is first. Alright? Tell me treatment. Tell me how many people have it. Find out any facts you can find out about this. You understand that? And then you're going to get up here and present it together, but both of you gotta speak. Alright, what questions do you have? But we're gonna do this quick because you're gonna do 10 minutes, then I'm gonna add the stuff y'all say, okay? Y'all got it? Alright, who's your partner? You don't have a partner, so you work with other people. Alright, so, y'all have that one. Who, y'all two? Y'all do that one. Start, go ahead and start. What, y'all two? There we go. There we go. Alright.
Ooh, this ratio. I probably should.
Y'all three. Who are you with? Brandon, y'all two? Y'all three. Who does not have a card? Oh, who's got three in their group?
I got the definition.
Y'all got three. So I want y'all to do two of them. I want y'all to do them. Because you got three people. Who else has got three people? Y'all got three people. Y'all want OCD or clinical depression? There we go. There we go. All right. Go ahead and start now. It's 133. 143.
Okay, me and you are gonna do,
All right.
dementia. You got clinical depression. Let me just talk.
Yeah, y'all can talk. Y'all are in a group, so figure it out. Listen, you gotta get all the facts and then figure out who's gonna say what when you get up here.
Alright,
Okay.
so I'm gonna look up, just, I guess,
As many facts as you can find.
I'm gonna look at the 5 signs of dementia, right?
I don't mind if you write on the note card on the back. I don't care. Or you can take your notes on your Chromebook. Eight minutes. Y'all can talk to each other too. Many facts as you can find.
So 10 years,
I also do
$6 minutes.
alright, so, oh, I found a warning sign,
I have
Alright, I'll get treatment then.
Can we use our phone? Like, we found information, can we use our phone to ride along?
Yeah, you can use your notes, your phone, Chromebook, or paper, it doesn't matter. You bring it up here. Anybody need any help?
Can you give me a story about a time that you were there?
I'll tell that story when y'all get here.
What?
Well, cause it relates to me a little bit, so I'll add on to after y'all get finished. That, bipolar dementia, we'll talk about.
Yeah.
4 minutes. Y'all able to do both of them? Who's doing it? Which one's gonna do it?
Alright, I'm gonna, so I'm gonna look at it, but,
Yeah, right.
that's Luxie? Oh, no. What?
Yeah, right.
I don't remember. Oh, that one's so pretty.
So when y'all come up here, on to the right, you got the card. How hard is that, man? You got the card? Huh?
So we're not presenting that, we just write it on the board?
So yeah, before you present it, just write it, and then we'll know what your subject is, and then they all relate to mental illness, so we'll.
Or stitch line, or stitch line.
Coach Rose, how do you pronounce this word?
Bulimia. Bulimia. Yeah. Good question, bulimia.
So,
2 minutes, y'all get close? B finishes up and talking who's gonna do what.
I got the number of,
Alright, we should. Why are you whispering? Too loud. Alright, we're enough. So, what do you want me to cover?
Everything you don't have.
So, alright, so.
Who's going first?
We can go first if you want. Unless someone's already called it. Both?
What's that?
We can go first if you want, unless someone's already called it.
Alright, we'll go, you got about a minute.
Why is yours yellow? I mean, it's cute. Why is it yellow? Alright, so. Alright, so. We've already, so I'll just cross that off mine.
Alright, 30 seconds.
I'll just kind of go over this from back and forth.
Alright, here's your ground rules on how I want you to present it. Alright? This is the ground rule. Get up here and speak loud. Alright? And don't be nervous. Yeah, everybody, just get up here and have fun with it, right? And here's the last one. You gotta take notes on everybody else. We're gonna cover this more in detail, alright? This is sort of intro to it. So you all have got a piece of paper out. If you don't get a piece of paper out, to be able to leave the class, you gotta show me you got notes. So if somebody gets up here and talks about schizophrenia, you're gonna take notes on schizophrenia. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So to get out of here, you gotta take notes. That'd be a good study guide for you too. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. So we're gonna start. What do y'all have?
So, we have dementia and my other partner has.
You got clinical depression and dementia. So all three of y'all come on up. All right. Make sure you got something to take notes with.
We'll give that to another.
Go ahead and write them up.
So I will do.
All right. Which one we gonna do first?
Let's do dementia.
All right.
Alright, yeah, let's start. Want me to? Alright, so dementia is very common. There are 5 signs usually leading up to it, which is memory changes, changes in mood, repetitiveness, difficulty communicating, and poor judgment.
Okay, dementia is the loss of cognitive functioning, thinking, remembering, and reasoning. People with it usually can't control their emotions and their personalities will change.
Yeah, so their whole kind of like how they act. Usually someone who has dementia will live around 10 years after, which is pretty sad, following the dementia diagnosis. So to help care for someone who does have dementia, we want to try and keep a routine, try and do some of their favorite things at one time, like every day you do like this activity and then the next day you do the same thing over and over again. Try and keep a routine to keep their memory around as long as possible. And treatments depend sort of on the stage that they're in. Therapy and meds are available, like memantine, rivastigmine, galantamine, and donepezil, whatever.
Dementia is caused by damage to the brain, and Alzheimer's is a major cause. The signs are vague in everyday conversations, memory loss, difficulty performing everyday tasks, losing enthusiasm, difficulties in thinking or saying the right words. Dementia typically progresses over the course of weeks, months, and sometimes years. Many people with it pass it on to their children or grandchildren, and it's more common in people over the age of 65.
So what is that called when it gets passed down to others?
Yeah.
Hereditary, right? Right. That's a lot of information in 10 minutes. Right? Everybody look at it. Here's a real life story. My mom has dementia, right? In the late stages, right? And it's been over the last probably 3 years that we've noticed different things. She's a good cook, so 3 years ago at Thanksgiving she forgot how to make a certain dessert that she makes all the time, banana pudding. Right? So she got it back, but over time she's in the last stages of dementia. Right? So as different stages go, she could recognize me. Right? But now she can't. She wouldn't know me from anybody. She talks like she's never had kids. Right? She talks to her brother and sister that they've been dead for years. Right? It's a sad deal, man. Right? She'll sit at the chair I know the other day, like she'll say, "Get rid of them guys." She can see different guys, or she's acting like she's picking stuff up. I mean, and my mom had a daycare. She kept kids for years, and she still talks about, how about those kids? They weren't well behaved. Or her favorite holiday is Christmas, right? And she'll talk about Christmas. So it's a sad deal. And talk about, don't break your heart. My dad the other night, he started crying. My dad hardly ever cried. He said it's like sitting and watching your wife die. So it's dementia. See, y'all need to know about that kind of stuff. I never knew about that stuff, right? In my health class. So these things, all these are, I hope it don't, but it can touch. So does Coach Polk have to worry about dementia? Right, because it's hereditary. So it's very important. All right, let's go to the next one.
Clinical depression.
All right. What is it? Clinical depression.
Clinical depression can cause loss of interest and energy for things that you like doing. and it can cause an overwhelming numb feeling of sadness, which can associate with thoughts of suicide. Sorry if anyone is sensitive to that. It can change sleeping patterns and alter brain function, can change appetite, brain eating disorders. And you will have different daily behavior and low self-esteem. The causes can be things like bullying, family situations, like loss of a loved one or a pet, social stress, things like that. And the treatments are therapy and medication.
Alright. So tell me this. How would Coach Poe know one of his kids are clinically depressed? You got that. How would I know? What would be some red flags?
Well, if they
More
stop eating.
isolated,
More
less
isolated?
eating, more eating, dissociating with things.
Right, just such, or
Not
maybe
really
have no
being
interest,
active,
stay in their room, alright?
Well, they don't wanna be around people.
They don't wanna be around anybody, and their moods are all over the place. Okay, alright, y'all sit down, great job. Let me ask you the, hold on, before you sit down, let me see what you do, not y'all sit down. What would y'all do, so somebody clinically depressed, but maybe they're not. And I come up to you, okay, and I say, I'm about to tell you something, and you gotta promise you won't say nothing. You ready? You gonna promise me? Alright, I'm thinking about hurting myself, man. I mean, alright, so what would you do?
Go tell somebody.
Huh?
Go tell
Go
somebody.
tell somebody. Y'all understand that? That's very important, because you never know people's stories, so if somebody tells you that, don't think they're kidding. Alright, you break a promise, you break a promise, you get somebody to help you. Who would you go to at school?
Counselor.
Teacher, counselor, somebody you trust.
Principal?
Principal, assistant principal, Coach Brooks, right, anybody, very important. All right, who we going next? Come on, let's go.
You guys gotta work over there.
Take one. Yeah, these guys are running those stuff.
Alright, that's gonna be all time. I got
All right, everybody turn around. Here we go.
Alright, I got anorexias. And I got some stats. An estimated 30 million United States citizens have an eating disorder. 71% of people with an eating disorder are also diagnosed with anxiety or mood disorders. And only 1 in 10 people with an eating disorder ever receive treatment. The physical signs is rapid weight loss or frequent changes in weight, fainting or dizziness, lethargy,
Lethargy.
and low energy. Your mental signs are preoccupation with food, eating, body shape and weight, depression and anxiety, feeling anxious or irritable around normal meal times.
Okay. So let me ask you this, so anorexia, they're not eating, or what, they might just eat a little bit, or go exercise, like we talked about earlier. How would you know somebody at school? Maybe you eat lunch with them every day, how would you know?
They sit there,
Sit there, but if they eat, what are they gonna eat?
like, barely anything.
Barely anything, or every day. That's not normal, so that'd be a red flag. Would you get somebody, if you think somebody's anorexic, would you get them help? Yeah, that's very important, very important. Alright,
I got PTSD. 3.5% of U.S. adults every year get it. It is triggered by a terrifying event. Symptoms will typically start within 1 month of the event.
say that again, it typically start within 1 month of the actual.
event. Yes.
Okay, alright,
It is natural to feel afraid after or before a dramatic situation, and PTSD does not always last forever.
so sometimes you get help or therapy, right? Tell me some things that could cause that. We talked briefly about some of them earlier, but tell me some stuff.
Water.
Huh?
Water.
Water?
Water. Oh yeah, water.
War,
Yeah, like water, and water, like if you.
water, so my mom's scared of water, yeah, water, if you scared of water, you can't swim, and you get paranoid and all that stuff. Let me know.
Recurring, unwanted distress memories of the potential event will like occur, and they'll have like flashbacks and stuff of it.
Y'all see that on movies, right? You see movies of maybe an action movie or a military type deal, something triggers their memory and they go back in time when they had that.
They'll have like upsetting dreams and nightmares, like makes them like get upset at night and stuff like that. But that's it.
Good. So PTSD and anorexia. Anybody got any questions on that? All right, good job. Next, who y'all go next? Here we go.
Anxiety is the most common mental illness. Anxiety is a mental health disorder characterized by feelings of worry, anxiety, or fear that are strong enough to interfere with someone's daily life and their daily activities.
Anxiety disorders are genetic. They are linked with depression. They often begin in early childhood, and they can have physical symptoms such as dizziness, tiredness, irregular heartbeat, muscle ache, and more. It can cause anger and cause memory problems and serve to increase risk of health problems. 19% of adult Americans have anxiety.
So they have any?
19% of adults.
19%, that's a big number. Right.
It causes feelings of nervousness, restlessness, being tense, danger, panic, and dread.
So how would somebody look, if they had anxiety disorder, how would they look?
Exhausted.
Exhausted? What else? Huh? Stress, paranoid, right? Because they can be, they can be paranoid all the time. It makes them anxious. Right? Where, like, I think I said earlier, where sometimes we get nervous about something, but once we do it, we're not nervous anymore. Anxiety disorder is nervous all the time, so they have to get treatment. Okay?
To help with anxiety, you can get counseling or medication, including antidepressants. Self-care, you can avoid alcohol, smoking, reducing caffeine, increase exercise. You can also relax, like deep breathing, talking to people you trust, yoga, meditation, walking/exercising. Health-wise, and like food and what you eat, like whole grains, taking away from energy drinks and sugary foods. Also drink a lot of water
Why do you think you need to stay away from energy drinks?
because it can make it worse because it makes your body like
Caffeine.
faster.
Yeah, man, caffeine speeds everything else, so it intensifies it. Okay, good. Is that the only one y'all had?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Next, Cole, y'all go. What do y'all got?
Bipolar disorder.
Bipolar disorder is a mental condition marked by alternating periods of elation and depression, mood swings. 45 million people worldwide have it. Its symptoms include feeling jumpy or wired, talking very fast, you're easily distracted, you're restless or impulsive, and mood swings. And the treatments include therapy, medication, and supportive care.
It can be characterized in episodes such as highs and lows. There's 3 million cases of it per year. It can be treated but not cured. Episodes can last from days all the way to months. It can be associated with also suicidal thoughts.
All right, good. So bipolar, what y'all really need to, when I give the test, it's gonna be extreme emotions. Okay? Sit down, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. So when I worked at Shaw, I was over all the sales training. We bring them in and train them for 16 weeks. So I had this guy was from Baylor University, Texas. His name was Tommy. And I always meet with trainees like at 7:30. But that day I had a meeting, so one of my assistants had to go in there and meet with him. So I get through my meeting, I walk in my office, and he comes in and says, I had to send Tommy home because he came to work. I mean, it's usually business casual, so we have slacks on, a golf shirt, a button down, and dress shoes. But he came to work with blue jeans, a golf hat on, and a golf glove hanging out in his back pocket. And it was probably halfway through training, so he'd been there 7 or 8 weeks. He said, I sent him home. So my assistant left, and here he came. He still had his stuff on. And I said, Tommy, what's going on? And he sat down, and I had some crazy stuff. I had pictures on the wall of like the Masters golf tournament, a different hole on that. And he said, man, I wish I could just go sit under that bridge. And then he'd be laughing 1 minute and then crying the next minute. Okay? So I didn't know. I mean, at the time I had no clue what bipolar meant. You don't have to put that on the application. So I didn't know. So I knew his dad was a pilot for Delta, and I said, you got your dad's number? He said, yeah, it's out in the car. And I said, well, go get it. So he got about halfway out, and I thought, man, I better follow him up. He's not, something's going on. I don't know if he's on drugs or what. So he walks out the door. I walk out the door, and he's out there throwing rocks, cussing, and just yelling. And I said, Tommy. He said, oh, okay, I'll get that number. So he gets in his car, he has to get some number. Comes back in, sits down in the office, behind my dad's phone just like this one, similar. I said, you got the number? Give me the number on my dial. Can I call you dad? He said, oh, I'll dial it for you. So he goes over to my phone and does this. I don't know if I can zip this, but he does this. Right? And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? I didn't know. So I went, had to leave with somebody else, had to go talk to the manager. We ended up taking him to the hospital. We didn't know. So we ain't got a hold of his dad yet. So we get there, and it was like a 5-year-old walking in with me. So I'd walking in the hospital, he'd hold my shirt right here and stay right behind me. The doctor was taught. The doctor would ask him questions, he'd whisper in my ear, and I'd have to answer it. All right? They thought he was on drugs. I didn't think he was on drugs because of the drug test, all that stuff. Finally get a hold of his parents, and they told me he's bipolar. And he quit taking his medicine. Right? So once they got all that stuff settled, and he got back to normal, you would never know anything was wrong with Tommy if he said it was medication. But I asked him why. He said, I'll tell you, that medicine makes me sluggish and tired. So he got off of it, thought he was okay, and he had an episode. Right? Come to find out, it'd been going on for a little bit. His episode was when he gets like that, he's always want to spend money. So he wrecked his car, and his rental car he had when he went up to get the phone number was a brand new Cadillac. So crazy. So didn't have a clue what my phone was. All right, let's go. We ain't gonna hold on more time. Let's go. Who's next? Go. Here we go. Tell me. All right, schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is a chronic brain disorder, or their symptoms include hallucinations and extremely disorganized. Signs of it are depression, hostility, or suspiciousness that show personal hygiene, flat expressionless gaze, and ability to cry or express joy or inappropriate laughter.
Only 1 in 300 people have schizophrenia. It's about 24 million people, 0.3% of the world. The only treatment is lifelong medication, therapy, rehabilitation, or support groups.
What do y'all know similar to all these different mental illnesses?
Oh, that's due to depression.
Well, it triggers it, but how about cures?
Medication.
There's not cures, right? That you can control it, right? But you can't cure it. Okay? Just sort of like the bipolar I just told you about. Okay? All right, good. Now we got one more group. Let's go real quick. About run out of time. What do y'all have? So we talked about anorexia. They got bulimia. Okay.
Okay, so it is an eating disorder that causes extreme overeating, but then puking all the food out. The three effects are depression, anxiety, or OCD.
The treatment is fluoxetine, and there's about 1.5% of women and 0.5% of men that have it. The common age for bulimia is 12 to 25 years old.
So what's the difference between bulimia and anorexia?
They overeat, and then they puke it all out, but anorexia, they starve themselves.
Yeah, so bulimia, they might not only puke, they might take a laxative to get it out that way too, right? Let me ask you this question. Why would a bulimic teeth rot? No? Why would you think?
Because they're puking?
Yeah, why? All the acid, right? So if they do that over a long amount of time, they'd have trouble with their teeth. Okay? Y'all understand that? All right, good. All right, we got a couple minutes. Real quick. Tony, tell me, I don't eat. What mental illness? Hurry. I don't eat. Eat this one, hurry. Anorexia. I hallucinate. Hear voices. Schizophrenia. May I cry and laugh all the time. Bipolar. Gunshot. PTSD, right? Something triggered it. Man, this. Anxiety. I'm nervous all the time. What's your name?
Dementia.
There you go. Alright, is that all? I sit in my room all the time, lights out, have no interest. Alright, listen, before you get stuff out, put the card back on there. I want to see, line up here. I know you got to go. Line up here. I'll see your notes. Then, here we go. This will be your next study guide. Very good notes. Good.
And on the back too, so.
Good. A lot of good notes, man. Great. Have fun and have a study guide to go by.
Coach Brooks. It's like
Fucking the most I've ever done in about 10 years.
Good. 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 All right, listen. Tomorrow, we'll go more in details of more of the therapy. Everybody listen. Sit down real quick. Hurry. Tomorrow's Saturday. Monday, that's how my week's gone. Monday, we'll talk more about each one of them and really get into therapy on. Okay? All right, y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you.